I'm Roland September, the current president of Camprosa. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our annual Camprosa conference at the V&A Waterfront in Cape Town, and also hoping that you enjoy our dynamic program that we've prepared for you, and also the speakers that we've invited from around the world. Also take this opportunity to network, and we also will be exposing you to the latest in technology that can be used at institutions around South Africa as well as our SADC countries.
We've got a growing number of people here at Camprosa and a growing number of associate members. We're very glad about that. My message this morning, aside from welcoming people, is to look at some of the challenges facing Camprosa and universities in particular, and in the hope that Camprosa becomes an organisation that becomes an arm of the government, and that they can rely on us for providing security in campuses.
The DNA Project is an NGO that is committed to advancing forensic DNA profiling in South Africa through legislation and through understanding the importance of crime scene preservation. How to ensure that biological or DNA evidence is preserved on a crime scene in order to use it in a court of law to convict.
I'm doing a presentation on events management. At the universities nowadays, we get more and more access to events because the people see the university as cheap accommodation for events. So I'm just speaking about the events legislation, the impact it has on security and the infrastructure that the university has.
I did a presentation today on crime stats, dealing with crime stats, taking in and using the information to your benefit within your institution. I think what's important is it goes wider, that we share the information, take it as far as we can. We start looking at sharing it with one institution to the next. So eventually at the end of the day, we all know we're sharing the same problems, and we can also look at sharing the same solutions.
I'm here at Camprosa talking about our association and talking about the similarities and the things we have to do, and our requirements for reporting to our community at each college and university in the United States. It's a federal requirement, and so I talked about that for a little while. And we also talked about other pieces of a bill that we have in the U.S. called the Clery Act, which also requires us to report emergency notifications and crime information to our communities.
In principle, we did a presentation around the security aspects of the waterfront, better referred to as the safeguarding of the waterfront at the Camprosa this morning. I think the crux of the matter around the presentation was about the proactive part of security and how we utilize our resources to obtain that by using the concepts of movement control and using filters and funnels and layers of security.
I spoke at the Camprosa conference today on the challenges that some of the managers have to face when it comes to compliance with the legislation. The legislation is about to change with proposed amendments which are going to impact on every aspect of health and safety management programs. And today was an insight into that.
The talk that I gave today was about the huge intellectual changes and challenges facing forensic science in the 21st century. There are massive changes which have taken place which need to be assimilated into our thinking both in the police forces and in the courts of law. And it's vital that we start to get to grips with this, otherwise we're going to find that justice is often miscarried and there is a problem that is going to develop seriously in the 21st century.
The presentation I gave to Camprosa is focusing on emerging security technologies, and we covered things like 4K cameras, all the way through to things like the Internet of Things, looking at how that will benefit us, but also how that will pose a threat to security in the future.
Our aim is to make companies aware of the implications of the Protection of Personal Information Act, or POPI, more so far as it relates to technology and the consequences going with it. Obviously the Act has far-reaching consequences and doesn't just come with regulatory fines, but also with civil remedies and criminal sanctions.
I'm very happy to be here with the Camprosa conference. And my presentation today was covering emergency management and business continuity and resilience as we've learned in the United Kingdom.
There you have it, folks, from our dynamic speakers at this year's conference. This is the conclusion. We'd like to thank our speakers as well as the sponsors for making this conference possible and making it one of the most memorable conferences we've actually had. I would like to invite you to our Camprosa conference in KwaZulu-Natal in 2016.